What did you see with the inability to stop Vooch and the floor spacing? We saw it with Brook Lopez as well. What did you hear from the team, from JB, your insights into why things went so wrong as Jalen Duren's taking the brunt of a lot of this conversation?
Yeah, I think urgency is the right word. Just looking at the game as a viewer, right? Like a lot of those threes from Vooch, like Duren was not within like 4 feet of contesting. It's like some of the most open threes Vooch will get all season. And after the game, JB did say that the scheme asks for the bigs to play and drop, and it's just inherently difficult to play and drop. And obviously, recovering in time. Isaiah Stewart about it after the game, and he was just like, "Yeah, it's tough. It's tough when you're playing and drop, and also have to get up to the top of the arc every other possession." But with that said, like, Vooch is going to try to get those trailing threes. He's going to pick and pop. That's his game. And what he was like 6 for 8 from three or something like that. And I'll say 5 of those were probably wide open. There just wasn't an awareness that was going to happen on some of those plays. And I think it's just the lack of awareness that's glaring. I mean, again, you have to be at least within 2 steps of being able to contest that shot. Vooch got going early, and it's kind of like what happened with Milwaukee too, right? Milwaukee couldn't shoot in the first half. Brook Lopez got going, and once he got going with Giannis, who was already going, he had 30 in the first half. Like, it became too much to stop, right? Like, when you have a big that can shoot and they get into a groove, that makes the rest of the game significantly harder. So, maybe there's a scheme adjustment there. Maybe it's something that they need to coach or practice differently. I'm not sure. But if your bigs are playing and drop and Vooch is getting, 7 wide open threes, something's got to change.
And here's the thing. The Lopez one, I even understood a little bit to start. And we all know Lopez is a floor spacer, right? But he's shooting 33% on threes right now, and it was even worse before his last few games. Like, he had been struggling. Vooch is having a career year from three. Like, I just did a trivia question over on Game Theory, and Vooch was part of it because of the way he's shooting threes right now. After last night, he's 48% on 4 attempts. He's 59% overall from the field, and he's not a lob threat. Like, a lot of his buckets are skilled shooting buckets. So there was no excuse not to know and not to take that away. I wonder, my theory is here, Amari, I think Duren is afraid to close out too hard because he either doesn't trust himself or maybe what it takes to make the multiple efforts to then guard the big attacking him off the bounce. I think that's what he's worried about. I think there's a lack of awareness, a lack of sense of urgency, and then an unwillingness to close out really hard to these guys because of the worry of them then attacking him off the bounce. That's where I'm at with what he's nervous about.
And I could see that because, like, I don't know if you'll agree, but I feel like Duren is better at contesting threes from like smaller guys. And obviously there's like a size advantage there, but I feel like he closes out harder on like guards than
Yeah, it's
big,
weird.
which, is fine for some matchups, but then there's matchups where like it's not fine. Like he blocked a 3 last night. I forget who took it, but he absolutely blocked a 3 last night, and it was one of his better closeouts of the night. So that's just something I've noticed with him. Like, I don't know exactly why that happens. Maybe it's just him having more confidence, knowing that he's more likely to reject a 3 from a guy smaller than him as compared to a Vooch, where you're probably not going to block that 3 regardless. But that's something you have to hammer home, right? I mean, that's just today's league. You're going to be playing 5 out a lot. Teams can stretch you out and get you out of the paint, and then the other shooters heat up. Because there's just been a lot of ridiculous shooting this season. Like, this is probably going to be another record-breaking season as far as I would just assume accuracy, because it seems like there's so many guys who are above, 44, 45% this season. So you just can't do that. Like, whatever your defensive scheme is, once you start giving up those open threes to the big, like, your scheme's going to break down.